So I'm sure you've heard the news, right? If you haven't, where you been, man? Yuri Slafkovsky just made the Montreal Canadiens. It was made official yesterday. And by made, let's be clear here. This doesn't mean that he's going to play the entire season with the Montreal Canadiens. He's going to start with the Montreal Canadiens. And if you know about the NHL, you know about how the rookie thing works. He's going to get maybe his whole 9-game whirl if he earns it, right? He could only play just a few games with the Habs and get not cut, but sent down from the Montreal Canadiens. And if he does end up being very good in that 9-game audition, he will stay with the Montreal Canadiens and burn off the full first year on his entry-level contract with the Habs. But again, he's got to earn it. And hey, a lot of people I'm seeing have been saying that this is a mistake for Slafkovsky to be here. I think the complete opposite. I truly believe this is the right move for Slafkovsky and the Montreal Canadiens. And no, this is not Jesperi Kotkaniemi Part 2 at all. This is not what that is, okay? Because with Jesperi Kotkaniemi, I mean, let's be real here. That was just a bad pick in general. Slafkovsky here, look, he wasn't a world beater in preseason. Did not look like Connor McDavid. He's 18. He's adjusting to North American ice, to the NHL game, to playing against men. And he wasn't awful. Like, yes, there was some games where he did not look good, but he was never terrible. And as far as Slafkovsky goes, how many guys have you seen? Because I've seen a bunch who in the preseason, they don't look great. They don't look very good at all. And then as soon as the games actually start to matter, they turn it on. Maybe that's what happens with Slafkovsky here. He's gotten his feet wet with preseason, with the rookie tournament, with training camp, with all this stuff. Now the lights are going to be bright against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Get the season going. We might see a completely different player. And if it's not really a huge risk here. I mean, let's say he plays 9 games with the Montreal Canadiens and they decide, okay, he's not ready. You don't have to keep him there, especially if some of his confidence gets lost or shot in those 9 games. Send him down to Laval. Let him touch the puck all the time. Let him feel like a superstar again. And then next year, bring him up again, and maybe he'll be even more ready and even more physically and emotionally mature for the NHL game. So it's not a huge risk. Even if he doesn't play that great and he's clearly not ready after these first few games, just send him down. He can play basically a whole season in the AHL, and that'll be amazing for his development, not only because he gets that season in the AHL, but he also got his feet wet in the NHL and has some NHL experience under his belt. And then, I mean, on the bright side of things, let's say he does start to play well because the games matter and he's in it and he's on. Then you've got a guy who can play in the NHL right away. And man, would that be great for Yuri Slafkovsky. And again, this is a very fragile thing for St. Louis, the management group, and the Habs in general, because you don't want him to be playing in the NHL if he's on the 4th or the 3rd line all season and he scores like 5 goals. You don't want that. You don't want him to rethink his identity and be like, oh, I guess I'm a plug. No, you want him to really feel like, okay, I can play here, I can keep up, and I can produce. Now, does that mean he has to go and score 60, 70, 80 points in his rookie season, 30 goals? No, it does not mean that. To me, if his goal total starts with a 1, okay, well, let me rephrase that because not 1 goal. But if it's like 10 plus goals, to me, I think that's successful for Yuri Slafkovsky in terms of goals. And if his point total is above 35, to me, that's a win for this guy. Because again, after everything everybody said about him, you just want him to show that he can produce. And if he can produce at the level of a 3rd or a 2nd liner, that's a win for me. So 35, 40 points as a minimum for me if he's in the NHL. That's what he needs to do. So that's what you're looking at to me if you're the Montreal Canadiens. You're looking and say, can this guy produce 35, 40 points in his rookie year? That's what, to me, is the barometer for him staying the entire season with Montreal or not. So I don't think this was a mistake at all. I think it's the best move to really gauge what you have, not in Yuri Slafkovsky, the player, but in 18-year-old Yuri Slafkovsky. Because in my opinion, 18-year-old Yuri Slafkovsky is going to be completely different than 19 and 20-year-old Slafkovsky. So even if he's not ready, he looks nervous, he looks jittery, he looks tired, whatever it is, Send him down and try again next year. Let him keep his confidence. Look at Cole Caulfield, eh? I bring this example up a bunch because to me, my jaw went to the floor last season when they sent Caulfield to Laval. After the Stanley Cup final and playoff run he had with the Montreal Canadiens the year before. But honestly, in hindsight, it was the best move for him. And just watch this season how much of a breakout Cole Caulfield's going to have. He's been ripping it all preseason. Dude's going to get 35, 40 goals. That little stint in Laval really helped him. And again, it's not always linear. Players don't always get better and better and better each game. Sometimes it's up, it's down, it's all around. That's how it goes with hockey. That's how it goes with the NHL. Be patient. Let's see what we got here. I'm hoping for a hot start from Slafkovsky so he can stay with the Montreal Canadiens all season. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. As usual, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.